Everyone knew my billionaire husband was 2 decades older. He married me to manage his kids. Learning he'd rarely be home, give me 10 million monthly, and that I wouldn't need children, I agreed instantly. My stepson Lucas skipped school for games. I bought his arcade and stayed up, winning all his allowance. My stepdaughter Maya adored a pop star. I paid her idol to give me a foot massage at our mansion, crushing her illusions. Just as we grew close, warnings flashed like comments on my life. The real heroine is returning. The kids will turn on the stepmom for their real mother. Stepmom ends up on the streets, fighting dogs for scraps. So someone wants to steal my inheritance? Let's see if my managed husband and these kids side with her. I tossed my Hermes scarf into the fireplace, beckoning Lucas and Maya. Minions, find all your dad's hidden cash. Tonight we're blowing every cent at the club. Nothing left for that gold digger. My command, and the 2 figures previously slumped on the sofa, sprang to attention like startled springs. Lucas's eyes gleamed like a hungry wolf. Are you talking about the black card the old man hid in the ceiling compartment of his study? Maya, without a word, tossed her nail polish aside. And the gold bars he stashed in his old shoes in the walk-in closet. I nodded, pleased. They truly were his children. They knew his hiding spots better than I did. Take it all. Tonight's on Lucas. My treat for you all. The comments section exploded. Is this stepmom insane? She's about to be kicked out with nothing and she's still pulling stunts? The true heroine is at the doorstep. She's got a DNA test. This stepmom is just having her last hurrah. Wait till Mr. Mulvey comes back and sees the house ransacked. He'll throw this evil woman out for sure. I smirked, looking at the half-burnt Hermes scarf I'd just rescued from the fire. If I was going to be the wicked stepmother, I might as well act the part. 10 minutes later, Lucas clutched the black card. Maya hugged the gold bars, both beaming with an unprecedented filial glow. Mom, which club are we going to? I want the most expensive male escorts. Maya looked at me eagerly. The most exclusive one in all of New York. Tonight, we drink till we drop, and I'll send your cheap dad our location. I waved my hand grandly, leading my 2 unfilial children out. No sooner had we left than a taxi pulled up to the villa. A woman in a white dress, tears streaming down her face like pearly rain, stepped out. It was none other than the legendary true heroine, Emily Sterling. She looked at the empty villa, the heartfelt reunion speech she'd prepared stuck in her throat. The comments section was full of question marks. Where are they? Didn't they say everyone was waiting to welcome the heroine? Where's the family? Meanwhile, my 2 stepchildren and I were in the most luxurious private room in New York. The table was laden with expensive imported liquor, and 2 rows of male escorts, more handsome than any idol trainee, stood before us. Lucas was busy popping champagne. Maya was busy picking out the hottest guys. I slumped on the sofa, looking at the dozens of missed calls from Julian Mulvey on my phone, then promptly turned it off. Want me to leave with nothing? Dream on. Emily did have some tricks up her sleeve. She actually managed to find the club. The moment the private room door swung open, I was holding a microphone, belting out a duet of the big sedan chair with Lucas. Maya was directing 3 male escorts to peel grapes for her. Emily stood in the doorway, half her white dress soaked from the rain outside, looking like a pitiful white flower caught in a storm. It was a stark contrast to our wild, chaotic scene. The comments section went into a frenzy. Wow, the heroine is so pitiful. Her real children are right there, but they don't recognize her. These 2 kids have been corrupted by the stepmom, coming to a place like this at such a young age. Of course, she wouldn't care since they're not her own. Look, the heroine is crying. The kids must have a psychic connection. Emily's eyes immediately reddened, tears flowing on cue. Lucas, Maya, I'm your mother. Her cry of mother was filled with such sorrow it would break anyone's heart. The music screeched to a halt. Lucas still held the champagne bottle, staring blankly at the woman in the doorway. Maya still had half a grape in her mouth. I raised an eyebrow, said nothing, just took a bite of watermelon. Seeing no one respond, Emily gritted her teeth and rushed forward, trying to hug Lucas. My child, Mommy missed you so much. Mommy had her reasons back then. Stop. Lucas deftly dodged, retreating behind me. Lady, who are you? You reek of poverty. Don't get your stench on my limited edition hoodie. Emily froze, staring at her biological son in disbelief. I'm your real mother, don't you remember? When you were little, you loved Mommy's braised pork. I don't like braised pork. Dad does. Lucas cut her off mercilessly, rolling his eyes. And now I only eat lobster and king crab. Can you afford to buy them for me? Emily's face paled and she instinctively clutched the hem of her dress. She had just returned to the country. Where would she get the money for such things? The comments section was indignant. How can this child be so materialistic? The stepmom must have ruined him. Don't cry, heroine. Just throw the DNA test results at them and make them face reality. Emily's hand trembled as she pulled a crumpled piece of paper from her bag. This is a DNA test. You really are my children. Maya finally swallowed her grape, slowly standing up. She walked up to Emily, looked her up and down, then covered her nose in disgust. So what if you're my real mom? Can you buy me her mess? Can you get my idol to give me a foot massage? If you can't, then why are you back? To fight us for the inheritance? Emily was completely bewildered. This wasn't how the script was supposed to go. Where was the mother-child bond? The tearful reunion. Julian Mulvey finally arrived. When he pushed open the door, he was met with a bizarre scene. His ex-wife, Emily, was kneeling on the floor, weeping hysterically. His current wife, Me, was casually watching the drama unfold, legs crossed. And his 2 children were hiding behind me, staring at their biological mother as if she were insane. What in God's name is going on here? Julian thundered, his face dark. Emily seemed to see a savior, scrambling to his feet and throwing herself at Julian's feet. Julian, you're finally here. I don't blame the children for not recognizing me. It's my fault for being away for so long. But Delia, how could she bring the children to a place like this? It will ruin them. A classic move, retreating to Ad Mulvey and throwing me under the bus in the process. Julian glanced at the table full of liquor bottles, then at the bewildered male escorts, a vein throbbing in his temple. He turned to me, his gaze sharp. Delia Hayes, is this how you look after the children? I leisurely wiped my hands. What? Mr. Mulvey doesn't like it? This is happiness bought with your money, for your children. Besides, I didn't bring them here to do anything illegal. Just listen to music, have a few drinks, and by the way, I pointed to the male escorts. Let your daughter experience the diversity of men early, so she doesn't get fooled by scumbags like you later on. Julian choked on his anger. The comments section, however, suddenly became excited. Although, the stepmom makes a really good point. This stepmom has some guts. Her mouth is blessed. Mr. Mulvey, quickly help the heroine up. Rekindle the old flame. Patch things up. Julian did indeed help Emily up. But the look in his eyes wasn't the deep affection the comments hoped for. It was more like embarrassment. Since you're only here once in a blue moon, let's go home and talk. Julian sighed, seemingly compromising. A flicker of triumph crossed Emily's eyes, and she gave me a provocative look. I shrugged indifferently. Go home then. That house was no longer the one she remembered anyway. Back at the villa, Emily immediately slipped into her role. Ignoring her wet clothes, she headed straight to the kitchen to make supper for the children. Lucas. Maya, Mommy's making noodles for you. You used to love Mommy's homemade noodles. Lucas and Maya exchanged glances, horror in both their eyes. I'm not eating. I'm ordering takeout. I want barbecue. Lucas shouted. I want barbecue too. Extra spicy. Maya chimed in. Just as Emily brought out 2 bowls of bland, clear noodle soup, the delivery driver rang the doorbell. A mountain of lamb skewers, 2 platters of spicy crawfish, and ice-cold cola. The aroma instantly overpowered the 2 bowls of noodles. Emily's hands trembled as she held the bowls. These are junk food. They're not good for your health. I picked up a lamb skewer, took a bite, oil glistening on my lips. Miss Sterling, the most important thing in life is to be happy. Even dogs wouldn't eat your noodles. Emily moved into the guest room, but she clearly didn't see herself as a guest. The very next morning, she began a grand cleanup of the villa, under the guise of decluttering and giving the children a fresh living environment. By the time the kids and I woke up late in the morning, The house had been transformed. Lucas's limited edition action figures had been thrown into the trash. Maya's pop star posters were ripped down and crumpled into a ball. Even the priceless bottle of red wine I kept in the living room had been poured down the drain, replaced with plain boiled water. No. My action figures. They were global limited editions. You can't buy them even with money. Lucas let out a pained shriek. Maya burst into tears. My bias. My posters. Emily, are you insane? Emily, apron-clad, stood in the center of the living room, looking innocent. Lucas, Maya, those toys take up too much space and look childish. Mommy is doing this for your own good. The comments section erupted in cheers. Heroine doing great. She needs to help the kids get rid of those bad habits. This is a real mom, worrying herself sick for her children's future. The stepmom only indulges. The real mom disciplines. The kids will realize the heroine's good intentions eventually. I leaned against the second floor railing, watching the chaos unfold downstairs, and couldn't help but laugh. Emily, did you forget? This house is in my name now. Throwing away my things in my house? Who gave you the audacity? Emily looked up at me, her eyes red. Delia, I know you don't like me, but the children are innocent. You can't just indulge them in endless fun and games to curry favor. I'm trying to save them. What a noble declaration. Julian Mulvey came downstairs at that moment, and seeing the scene, his brows furrowed. Emily immediately rushed over to complain. Julian, look how Delia has spoiled the children. They're losing their ambition, chasing frivolous things. How will they ever inherit the family business? Julian glanced at the action figures in the trash, which he had gone through a lot of trouble to buy for his son's birthday. He then looked at his daughter, whose makeup was ruined from crying. Finally, his gaze settled on Emily, who stood with a righteous expression. The comments section went into full alert. Here it comes. Mr. Mulvey is about to blow up. Mr. Mulvey will definitely side with the heroine. It's for the kids' good after all. The stepmom is in for it now. She's definitely getting kicked out. Everyone thought Julian would reprimand me. And even Emily was prepared to be embraced and comforted. However, Julian took a deep breath and slowly spoke. Emily, I bought that action film. Emily, I bought that action figure. The entire living room went silent. Julian walked over to the trash can. Then, to everyone's horror, he carefully reached inside and lifted out the limited edition figure Emily had tossed away. Lucas looked seconds away from crying. Julian dusted it off like it was a sacred relic. I stood in line for 12 hours in Tokyo for this. Emily blinked. What? I stood in line. For 12 hours. Julian's eye twitched. There were grown men fighting each other over the last one. Lucas immediately pointed dramatically. See, I told you. Dad almost got arrested for that thing. Security misunderstood the situation. You bit a collector. He bit me first. The comments section exploded. What? Mr. Mulvey is a nerd? The billionaire fought people over toys? My shoulders shook as I tried not to laugh. Julian wasn't finished. Then he pointed toward Maya's destroyed posters. And those posters? Emily straightened. Exactly. That celebrity is a terrible influence. I paid $300,000 for his signed merchandise. Emily froze. You what? I outbid a Saudi prince. Maya immediately burst into tears again. Dad, Julian sighed. Don't worry. I'll buy you new ones. Maya launched herself at him. For the first time since arriving, Emily looked genuinely panicked. Nothing was going according to script. Not one thing. The comments were equally confused. Wait. The rich family is somehow worse than the stepmom? A week later, Emily tried a different strategy. If she couldn't win the children over with discipline, she would win them over with sacrifice. At breakfast she dramatically announced, I've decided to get a job. Nobody looked up. Lucas was gaming. Maya was scrolling social media. I was eating croissants. Julian was reading financial reports. Emily's smile twitched. Did everyone hear me? Lucas nodded. Cool. Maya nodded. Good luck. Julian nodded. Benefits are important. Emily nearly choked. That afternoon she stormed out to prove her independence. 3 days later she returned. Furious. Apparently every company she applied to had rejected her. Not because she lacked qualifications. Because of Julian. The moment employers saw her name they panicked. Nobody wanted the billionaire's ex-wife working in their office. The rumors alone could destroy careers. She stomped into the villa. This is your fault. Julian looked up from his laptop. How? You ruined my future. You haven't had a job since 2004. The comments section started laughing. Emily is getting cooked. Then came the moment that changed everything. One evening I was lounging by the pool when the floating comments suddenly exploded. The real plot starts now. The heroine's secret daughter is coming. Stepmom is finished. I sat upright. Secret daughter? What secret daughter? A black limousine rolled through the gates. Out stepped a beautiful young woman. Early 20s. Designer clothes. Luxury handbag. Perfect makeup. Emily burst into tears. Charlotte. The young woman ran over. Mom. Mother and daughter embraced dramatically. The comments lost their minds. There she is. The real heiress. The one who takes everything. I glanced at Julian. He looked confused. Then I glanced at Lucas and Maya. They looked confused. Finally Charlotte released Emily and looked around proudly. I've come home. Silence. She looked at Julian. Dad. Julian stared. Who are you? Charlotte's smile cracked. Emily froze. What? Julian frowned. I've literally never seen this person before. The comments abruptly stopped. Charlotte laughed nervously. Dad, stop joking. I'm not joking. You are my father. No. Charlotte slowly turned pale. Emily looked ready to faint. Then Julian asked the question that shattered reality. Emily. His voice was dangerously calm. When exactly was this daughter born? Emily started sweating. About 23 years ago. Julian did the math. Then he checked his phone. Then he checked the calendar. Then he checked Emily. Then he checked the calendar again. The room became deathly quiet. Finally Julian smiled. The terrifying smile rich people get right before lawyers appear. Interesting. Julian. We divorced 21 years ago. Nobody breathed. The comments section exploded so hard it looked like a DDoS attack. Wait. 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 The timeline doesn't work. Charlotte's face went white. Emily's knees buckled. Julian calmly called his assistant. Prepare every DNA test available. Sir. Every single one. What followed was absolute carnage. 3 days later the results arrived. Charlotte wasn't Julian's daughter. She wasn't related to Lucas. She wasn't related to Maya. She wasn't related to anyone in the house. Emily collapsed into a chair. The comments section was losing its collective mind. The heroine cheated. The heroine had a secret family. The heroine was the villain all along. Then came the final blow. Julian's investigators uncovered where all the money he'd sent Emily after the divorce had gone. Not to survival. Not to hardship. Not to sacrifice. A secret husband. A secret daughter. A secret luxury lifestyle overseas. For 20 years, Emily had been spending millions while telling everyone she was a tragic abandoned mother. The internet detonated. Sponsors vanished. Interview deals vanished. Sympathy vanished. Even Charlotte's wealthy boyfriend dumped her on livestream. Meanwhile, Lucas and Maya celebrated by ordering enough barbecue to feed a football team. Months later, the villa was peaceful again. Emily was gone. Charlotte was gone. The inheritance remained untouched. One evening Julian sat beside me by the pool. You know, he said. When I married you, I thought you'd destroy this family. I raised an eyebrow. And he looked toward Lucas and Maya, who were currently trying to launch a watermelon from a homemade catapult. The watermelon exploded against a fountain. Both children cheered. Julian sighed. Turns out you were the least dangerous person here. At that exact moment the catapult snapped. The recoil launched Lucas backward into the pool. Maya laughed so hard she fell in after him. I nearly choked. Julian covered his face. And for the first time since those strange comments appeared in my life, They finally displayed a message that made sense. Mission failed successfully. The wicked stepmother has accidentally created a happy family.